Better without the glare from my glasses.
Yeah, and we're live. Welcome to what technically is the third episode of Steel Sturzinger, but because I haven't uploaded the second episode, there's some editing be done. But this episode, we are actually live, so hopefully we'll get some. I tweeted it just a little while ago.
Well, no one's going to be able to follow the plot that way. I mean, we crafted it so carefully.
Yeah, we put so much forethought into this. It's amazing. But I got to start with the joke that we've been trying to tell for like 3 fucking weeks.
All right. All right.
I call this story Juicy Smollett meets Ann Sturzinger. So let me set this up. This is what happened to Ann. I was talking to her on her phone. This is actually how the genesis of this whole.
I thought it was Juicy Smollett, but anyway, go on.
Well, it's supposed to be Israel, but it's spelled Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, but wasn't Dave Chappelle calling him Juicy Smollett?
I think Smollett, tomato,
Yeah.
tomato.
Tomato. He's a dickhead. But anyway, this is the genesis of the whole.
Yeah, so you know the story of Juicy Smollett, very famous French actor who claimed to be in the city of Ann's beloved city of Chicago, where she actually. This is not funny, but we're laughing about it in the relieved tension kind of laugh.
The irony
of it, where Ann was actually attacked and raped, and I'm not talking like I'm talking like rape, like some motherfucker came into her fucking house and fucking attacked her and raped her.
Yeah, like I was drunk and it was a bad date, and I think Aziz Ansari raped me. No, this was like just dude comes up the stairs and grabs me with his and all that shit. So yeah. I was actually the victim of a violent crime in Chicago, but Juicy on the other hand.
But Juicy Smollett or Smollett, whatever. He was apparently about to be what's the word? Or fired or let go from the TV show Empire. And he claimed that 2 white males in MAGA hats at 3:00 in the morning, when it was negative 20 degrees in Chicago, and because we all know there's lots of white guys hanging around the rough part of town in Chicago, wearing MAGA hats when it's negative 20 outside, right?
Wait, would Juicy be in a rough part of Chicago? I mean, you're probably going to actually see more MAGA hats in the rough parts of Chicago, but would Juicy be living there? I mean, did you see his little fucking ski sweater? There's like a police evidence tape, and like I think he's still got the noose around his neck, and he's wearing this impeccable little like metrosexual ski sweater, and it's white, and there's like not a spot on it, and he's talking about how he beat off these 2 huge guys.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But the funny thing is, so what Juicy Smollett did was he hired 2 Nigerian guys to buy a noose and 2 MAGA hats, and there's like the video footage like of him doing this.
Can you imagine the 3 of them coming up with this plot, and the other guys are like, whatever, what are you paying us?
Yeah,
and
your money's green. Yeah.
And Juicy's like, no, I'm not just an actor. I can write as well.
Yeah. So, but that's not even the really funny part of the story, right? So I'm talking to Ann. She's on the phone, walking around LA, like doing her constitutional, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
And she tells me this story, like she's on her way to Trader Joe's because she's going to return a box of cereal. I'm like, all right, that's strange. But I'm talking to Ann, so, you got to go with it when you're talking to Ann because she's got a lot of strange shit, let's be honest. So I'm like, okay. And then she goes to me, she goes, well, the reason I'm returning it is because there was a noose inside the cereal box.
And I'm not making this up.
And I'm like, when you're on the phone with someone, you just kind of take their word for it. Like, okay, there was a noose.
I took a photo of it for you, though.
You did. I got the photo. I actually when I get how to work this software better, I was gonna see if I could put that. I got the photo when it actually says. I actually put the caption Ann's noose on it. And so she takes a photograph like inside Trader Joe's, like and it's funny because it's like there's pumpkins or something in the background because it was right before Halloween. And so she goes to the and this is the funny part. She goes, yeah, and the noose, it wasn't like between the lining and the box. apparently the noose is like in amongst the cereal itself.
Sure. Yeah. And I was so hungry that I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'll just take the noose out and try to eat the cereal." But the cereal tasted like rope.
It
So
tasted like rope. It tasted like a
yeah,
noose.
yeah, it tasted like little bits of noose had broken off, and I was like, "Oh, the horrible taste of injustice. I feel like it's 1864, and I'm just eating sheer evil." Or maybe I just don't like the taste of rope. But
Yeah, that probably the latter, but who knows? But so then what Anne decided to do was she knew that if she went with this crazy story, even though it was true, she said, you know what? They probably won't believe me. And let's be honest, that cereal cost, I remember this, $2.19. Am I correct on that?
49 cents. 49
Oh, 40. Oh, shit.
By the way, this is my true story being so crazy that no one will believe me is the story of my entire life.
Right. Yeah. And you know, a lot of people think Anne's a fiction writer. She's not. These are all just real life events. Like the scene vendetta, that shit really happened. She saved Paris from being blown up.
Yeah, and I have been into the future and seen the shitty planet where people end up being shitty 4,000 years from now.
Yeah, life, right? That's the LYFE, life.
Yeah, and nobody believed me, so I just tried to pass it off as a science fiction novel.
Yeah, no. So what Anne did, she had to get back her $2.49 because I mean, look at the apartment she's living in. $2.49 is important. Now, remember, all this is happening on the phone. I'm hearing this like while she's in the store and stuff like that. And she's like wondering, she's going around, she's asking like, where's customer service in Trader Joe's? Now, I don't really think Trader Joe's has a quote unquote customer service department in their stores.
Desk somewhere, but there's never anybody behind it.
Okay. So we're talking about this. Well, okay. Let me tell the story my way. So what I say to Anne, I says, they're not going to believe you and you're not going to get your $2.49 back. So I say, what you do, put on blackface. And you claim to be trans black. You go to the cashier and you like, what the fuck is this, man? What kind of racist shit is this? You know, I mean, you heard about Juicy Smollett, right? And you know, just so but actually she didn't actually do the blackface. Though that would have been some fucking funny shit, let's be honest.
Oh god.
Like, even if she didn't just say anything, like she just went with the blackface on and then just pulls out the rope and like just see what the not even like playing la race card, just like look at me and holding a noose and like the, you know. So I'm hearing them talking about this and she's like explaining it to the poor checkout person. No, there was this noose in my cereal and I hear her talking going, and it wasn't between the box and the liner. It was inside the cereal. And then like, I think they didn't like, instead of getting your money back, you had to like exchange it or something. You had to find it.
Exchange it for a box of cereal that costs the same amount.
Yeah, equal value, right?
Yeah, so I go back to the boxes of cereal. And I didn't want to get the same flavor of cereal because now that cereal tastes like rope to me.
Yeah.
But the only other cereal that cost $2.49 was the stereotypical white girl pumpkin spice cereal. So I came up with my noose.
That's funny. I spent $2.49 on cereal and all I got with this stupid news.
The cereal was inedible. I mean, you know, I don't know what they're marketing at Basic White Bitches these days, but it's not very delicious.
Yeah, well, actually, I heard that people don't eat cereal like the way they used to. Like when we were kids, people ate cereal. Apparently, they don't anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of weird things I learned. That also bar soap. People don't use bar soap anymore. You know, everybody's liquid soap. Or what do you call it? Or what are they? Body wash. I still use bar soap.
Shower gel.
Shower gel. Yeah. Shower gel. I never like those things because they don't lather well. And also, I make my own soap. By the way, I got to send you a bar of my soap. You got to give me a mailing address.
Wow, there's like a human fat joke in there somewhere, but I'm kind of afraid to make it because we don't want to get a strike against our channel this early.
No, my soap is made with 100% fake real human fat.
Okay, for legal reasons, I don't want to know how you do that.
No, it's a joke. Get it? Fake.
Yeah, I know, but that was also a joke. But I've got so many fucking legal cases going on right now that I don't need to.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
need to
Okay.
be
So
involved in-
we got another one. We got to tell Anne's new best friend, who is assigned to sexual assault division, the female detective in Chicago. Now, apparently, like, this woman is totally in love with Anne because Anne has made sure that this woman is probably going to make lieutenant. And so when Anne like identified the rapist, like apparently this woman like jumped for joy. Like Anne's all traumatized having to identify the sick fuck that raped her. And this woman is like, "Oh, that's so great. Oh, I can't believe. Oh, great, good. And Anne's like, okay, you know what this fucker did to me, right? Like, yeah. No, you don't understand, man. The lieutenant's board is next week, and making this collar means I'm a shoo-in. So you don't understand. He's got multiple offenses. Now we got him. The DA is going to love me. I get to testify at the pretrial. This is great. And Anne's like, well, I'm glad my rape advanced your career. I'll see if I can get murdered next month. And, you should be captain.
They'll make sure to leave detailed notes.
Yeah, give this case to detective. We won't say her name. Give this case to detective so-and-so. She solved my rape, so she'll probably solve my murder. So, whatever. And actually, I don't think this bitch solved Dick. I think it was just a DNA match. So,
well, it was a DNA match, and I have a fairly good memory for dialogue, so I told the story the same way every time I was asked about it for an entire year, which is how long it took to even get to the point of arresting this dude. Because, well, what show was it I was watching where somebody was claiming that like somebody threatened to kill me, and they couldn't remember the exact verbiage that this person had used when they were threatening to kill them, and I was like, she's lying. And my sister goes, well, how do you know she's lying? And I'm like, when someone tells you they're going to kill you, you remember exactly what they fucking said.
Yeah.
You do. That's not something like, oh, it did something like that. Just like, maybe I'll kill you or something like that. It turned out this bitch had framed the guy that she was claiming had. So I was dead on. But actually, that podcast was poorly enough written. Won't name any names. That you could have guessed that she was guilty from like the first 3 words in the podcast, or even the title.
Okay.
Well done, mainstream, highly shared and promoted by the media powers that be podcasters. I knew she was guilty by reading the title, but also because she couldn't remember what someone had said when they were supposedly threatening her with death, which I know from experience, you remember exactly what they said.
Yeah, well, when you think it's real, when you think it's a real threat, you fucking remember. Yeah, that's not something you're gonna just forget. Like, what you had for breakfast. I mean, fucking Anne remembers what she paid for the fucking cereal box. I mean, she's traumatized for life. There was a fucking noose in it. Can you imagine if Anne was really black? I mean, holy shit, man. She'd be going to therapy and shit. It's systemic racism. They put that in the box. They knew a black lady would buy it.
Either I would be going to therapy, or I would own Trader Joe's now.
That, you know what? That just came to me as soon as I was like, no, that's right. You'd be rich. You wouldn't have to take on. Oh, by the way, today was your first day at the new job.
Yes.
Tell us. I don't know. And by the way, guys, I don't know. She hasn't told me anything about this yet. So, because we went live as soon as you got ready. So, and that, hold on. Let's see what you wore to your first day at work.
Well, it's kind of a. So there are people naked at my job. So you want to wear something that says, I don't disapprove of people being naked, but you also have to wear something over the top that says, I'm a professional because I'm on the crew.
I'm not the talent.
Yeah. Like, no, I don't disapprove of y'all being naked, but I was hired to babysit some computers and do some sound shit. Actually, it turns out I thought I was hired to do sound shit. I was hired to do camera shit, and also to deal with customer service type shit of people who are paying to watch this stream, because it's kind of like
you got to set this up now, because I have no idea what don't say the domain name or anything, but
no, I'm not gonna tell tales, but you know, you would like expect being on a porn set to paradoxically be very boring. And if that's what you were expecting, it's actually probably 10 times more boring than you would think.
Okay.
Until somebody starts crying, at which point the guy who's in charge will like just give everybody on the crew a fistful of sweaty cash and just hustle them out the door before like the starlet has a complete nervous breakdown. So the interesting shit, you don't get to see that. Like if you haven't chosen to masturbate, you've chosen to like watch 4 different cameras and make sure that all this shit is centered, and then talk to somebody who's mad in the chat, and then try to get more people to watch and pay, and because they're kind of the porn industry is getting less and less profitable, just like any other art, because everything's free on the internet. So they're kind of having to double dip. They're charging people to watch.
No pun intended.
No, there was only one male star today, but yeah, they're charging people to watch the live stream of the porn video being filmed. So it's like a live show of a professional porn video being filmed. So it's like webcamming an actual porn video with porn stars.
Okay.
So porn stars, they're or at least, I mean, the porn stars are generally still demanding the same wages, but the producers, what they're making is going way down because people just want to get all this stuff for free. So, they're trying to create a secondary market for the sort of behind the scenes once only live stream, so people can pay to watch this live stream of us, like comical little mistakes and the starlet getting set up and put into position, but then they actually get to watch people having sex as opposed to a highly edited version of people having sex, which is kind of an interesting way to create a secondary market. But if you have someone outside my window is screaming, sorry about that.
Okay. I thought that was the porn thing, but anyway, go ahead.
No, it's I don't know who's screaming outside my window. Jesus Christ. Or whatever, dude.
It reminds me of Chicago when you'd ever be on a podcast where you hear the fucking sirens going by in Chicago and the gunshots. But I don't know if you remember that shit.
People would get furious. They'd be like, "Anne, close your window." And I'm like, "It's 100 degrees." And we're fine. We close the window. If I stop talking at any given time, I'm probably dead. But
it was pretty funny. Like, the fuck do you live in? What are you calling it? Fucking cabal, Fallujah? I mean, anyway.
Yeah, and well, and then I wound up being a victim of the crime that happened in my neighborhood all the time. So that joke kind of came full circle. But what was I talking about?
But anyway, so back to the porn. So basically, it's they live stream like the whole the how do I say it, not just the edited version of it, like they're live streaming the whole setup, like how the makeup and okay, it's time to do the reverse cowgirl scene, and it's time to do the doggy, or whatever that they go through.
Yeah, well, not so much the makeup. That the starlets are supposed to do on their own before they go on set, which is why they're usually late. But the audience and see they pay per minute, so a lot of them just listen to long enough to jerk off, but some of them will pay.
I don't got much money in my account. Let me rub this one out really quick. Okay, all right.
They're impressively fast, like 2 minutes.
Damn.
2 minutes, that guy's gone. Okay, he didn't have any complaints, so I suppose he just whatever. Yeah. But some people will commit to watch the whole thing, and they get to see us making stupid jokes, and it's an interesting new product. But if you're part of the crew, actually.
By the way, I just want to know, I mean, without saying the domain, was this like a straight sex, or does this have like some sort of fetish theme to it, or is just straight boy girl, or
just boy girl?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they do other stuff, but I was just boy girl, so it was not very complicated. I only had to learn to do a few camera angles. It's It's just the getting used to like moving the camera one way and having the scene move the other way, and kind of learning on your feet while people are deciding whether to stream in or not. A little bit stressful, but once you learn to do it, like, yeah, like that old sort of paradoxical, like, making porn is boring thing turns out to be kind of true. Like, if you haven't chosen to masturbate and you're just like monitoring computers and chats, and just watching two other people like rhythmically rub up against each other on 4 different screens just gets really boring after a while. So
Well, yeah, well, you would be so you had to monitor it. Well, because you said it's a live stream thing, right? So there was a technical
yeah,
aspect to this, so you to make sure that. Well, I'm not even really sure, but I mean, but you're in the same room, or like, did they film this at a house? Did they have like a set? I mean, how was that working?
it's basically an apartment that's built to around a set.
Okay, and it was just like a bed or a couch or.
A bed with kind of a set around it, and then there's a lot of lighting equipment. I mean, I'm sure the finished product looks fairly professional, and maybe even my end will look more professional once I get used to, like, you move the camera this way and it moves that way, and like you have to try to crop the dude's head out most of the time, but you also have to put the action dead center, and these cameras don't zoom, so you have to like make judgment calls, like, am I going to try to crop his head out, or is that going to like take the action too far out of the center of the frame? So
you had to do like close-up shots, like penetration shots and all that?
I tried, but I couldn't get the camera to zoom, so I just like moved it around manually the best I could. Man,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I didn't come to LA to get into the film business. I came here because, well, for even more delusional reasons than that. I thought I was going to get cheap rent when I was fleeing Chicago. But for some reason, everyone who moves to Chicago somehow gets sucked into the entertainment business. But
You mean everybody moves to LA?
yeah. Mostly people who move into LA get sucked into either a gang or like seasonal affective disorder. But
Yeah.
But most people who move to LA tend to get at least partially sucked into the entertainment industry, but never in the way you would expect.
Okay. Well, yeah, they don't become a movie star. They do something else,
Or even like if you're a person like me, you would expect me to like be trying to get into script writing, but like there are so many people that you have to know people to know people to know people to know people. Like, so I wind up part of the crew of a porn channel.
Of a porn channel. Hey, this is. So I'm just I mean, you just experienced this. So for people who've never been on a live porn set or even see, because I think most people that have viewed porn see the edited version of it. That they don't get to see the all the stuff that you saw. So I'm just curious. So the girl, like, was she like some like 18-year-old, or was this like a MILF thing where she was like 40?
I think she was 22.
Okay. Did you like talk to her? Like, she's, hi, I'm Bambi, and you're like, hi, I'm Ann. And
she was real silent.
oh.
Yeah. Like at one point we thought she might have been dead. That's a joke. But she was not a talker, and we all knew that going in. It was like, she's not a very loud person. She's not a real talker. So she just, which is kind of weird when you're selling a webcam product, and you're trying to sell the girl's personality to people who are supposed to be paying to watch the stream, and she's just like, my other job is librarian. No, really, not sexy librarian. It's just my other job is just I don't talk.
Okay, and so like, was this awkward for you? I'm trying to imagine, like, there's naked people, and there's this guy, I imagine, walking around with a boner between setups, and
well, he was so not embarrassed by anything that it immediately stopped being uncomfortable.
Well, I imagine to get wood in front of all these strangers with lights on you is impressive.
Didn't seem to bother him. Yeah, didn't seem to bother him at all.
Just not be like, hey, yeah, whatever, yeah. How about that Bears game the other night? Whatever. Yeah. Okay. So that was interesting. So is this going to be a regular gig then? Is this something that you can do?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have more interesting stories in this.
I hope so. I hope I can come up with more interesting stories without actually getting fired. Everything on the internet is like, it seems to be, we should all be more paranoid than I ever am. But fuck that. I'm not going to live my life like that.
No, that's no way to go through life. Fuck it. I mean, yeah, and this. I mean, you're in the right spot for porn, L.A. I guess, right? Oh, but how did you get there? You have to take the bus.
Oh, it's like 2 miles from me, so I just walked.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. I mean, L.A. is a haven for porn producers because like the place is just wall to ceiling with like the prettiest girl in her small town who thought she was going to be a movie star, and now she's stuck out here with no money and porn.
Yeah, and I guess it's not like it really requires any talent. Like you said, this girl pretty much she wasn't a talker. She probably just like lied there, and the guy just pounded her or whatever.
Well, I don't actually know if it takes any talent because I've never tried it, but I mean she did she did some moaning and I'm not sure if it was real or not. So I guess she's a good enough actress.
Okay.
It's just I was disappointed that like when shit started to get interesting because somebody was upset. Like we're like the crew is hustling down the stairs with their sweaty bills in our pockets and we can hear crying starting upstairs. I'm like, man, I missed the interesting shit.
Oh, so it was the female talent that was crying.
Yeah, or somebody. I'm not there. There might have been more talent up there. I don't know.
Was there any other females on the crew?
No.
Or you were the only female on the crew? Okay.
Yeah, it was like back when I used to wash dishes for a living. Ironically,
yeah. Filming porn, washing dishes, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, ironically, being on a porn set is more boring than washing dishes. Because like dish machines at least offer a little more variation than human beings having sex. I'm being a little cynical.
Well, maybe it'll get better. You'll have there'll be more interesting shoots. Maybe you'll get to do a blow bang, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
And then you can zoom. You got to have to get real close to the camera, so you're gonna have to watch for friendly fire.
Right. But it's just if you're not in like masturbation mode and you're not thinking of it as a sexual thing, but you're thinking of it as a job thing, like it's a really repetitive thing to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean it's especially. I mean you're working the whole time, like you're worrying about the angle and everything, so you can't just view it like in a voyeuristic way. It's you can't view it in this passive way. You actually have to be like, okay, this is the camera. I'm kind of surprised that they let you like go right in and start filming because you don't really have any experience doing videography as far as I know.
No, but now I do.
Now you do, yeah. That's who knows? I mean, the next Spielberg film, it's going to be Ann Sturzinger. It's going to be great when they ask her. So, how did you get your start in the business? Well, let's not go there. But no, that's interesting. I mean, that you did it and went off. I mean, I guess you were a little bit nervous. I don't know. Were you nervous about it or no? I mean, you said
I was nervous because they are, they're paying the actress quite a lot of money.
Oh, that's what I want to know. What do they pay these chicks? Do you know?
I think the going rate has been about $1,000 for someone who's reasonably well known. Since before the industry stopped being quite so lucrative. So like, I guess that's not wages really keeping up with inflation, but it's wages more than keeping up with the actual ongoing profitability of the industry, because I guess there's just a certain point below which you can't get girls who thought they were going to be famous actresses to take off their clothes and bite a pillow,
Right. Well, I have this theory about not just porn. It's really any job if within reason. Like there's what you will put up with is pretty much based on how much you'll pay. Like everybody's kind of had a shit job, but you're like, man, they're offering me this much money. So, like the joke, everybody's got their price. I mean, there's some truth to that, but I mean, I've had jobs I didn't want to do, but like I just couldn't turn down the money because I'm like, damn. And I think like with porn, I'm guessing it's probably similar. Like if you have a girl who's working as a barista and she owes $50,000 in student loan debt or whatever, whatever, or maybe she just can't pay the rent. She's got no money, and someone's saying, "Hey, I'll pay you $1,200 to blow 3 guys," and she's like, "Well, usually I do that for free." So
yeah. But doing it in front of the camera, that could get back to your parents, that could get back to whoever, whatever. So I guess it's a certain amount of risk pay involved.
Well, the risk is once you do, like if you were looking to become a Hollywood star, that ship sails. Like you can't ever.
Yeah. It's kind of the giving up my dreams tax.
Yeah, but some people don't care. Like if let's say they weren't really wanting to become a movie star or something. Let's say it was, let's just say it's. I mean, there's tons of people in LA that are not looking to become movie stars. Maybe there's some people are just looking to get by, and the rents are outrageously expensive, and jobs pay shit for unskilled people. So they're like, just do porn, and I mean, that's $1,000 for not even a day's work, right? I mean, it wasn't an 8 hours that this chick was on set.
90 minutes.
90 minutes, $1,000 for 90 minutes. That's not bad. I mean, she could do that 5 days a week.
Damn.
So that's $5,000 a week, man.
Well, I wish I'd thought of this scheme 20 years ago. I could have invested in fucking, what's it called? Cryptocurrency.
Yeah. You would have been a Bitcoin billionaire by now. I mean, you think about it though, right? Especially you think about the age, right? She's 22, $1,000 a week for a 22-year-old.
But 22 is getting up there in porn.
In porn years, yeah. Like that's like 40 in porn years.
Yeah, like porn stars are almost like cats.
They're like, it's because you're pretty much, I guess, if you haven't like won your first AVN award by the time you're like say 24, it's pretty much you're done.
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of it. You can't command the big bucks. I think the AVN awards, or whatever the best, I don't know, they call it best actress or then I'm guessing that you win these awards so you could demand a higher pay scale. So you could get, you could go from actually, you know what? Your next day at work, ask to see the rate sheet that they have, or if they have one. Like
they don't really have one, but okay. I did hear that some porn companies are like side projects of more successful enterprises in some other industry that's still making money, like, I don't know, slavery or Soylent Green or whatever, wherever people are actually making money now, which is almost nowhere. Thank you, internet. God, I'm going senile. Where the fuck was I going with that?
So you're saying that a lot of porn industries are side businesses or something?
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of, it takes, I think it takes kind of a war chest to overcome all the free porn and the advertising that you need to do and the big stars that you need to get. So,
well, the cameras and shit, that stuff's not cheap, right? Like I'm guessing those cameras.
Yeah. And so a lot of companies are kind of running at a loss so that they can pay to get bigger stars in hopes of freezing everybody else out. So once these girls' contracts runs out with a company that's losing money on them, they don't understand why they can't get paid $5,000 like they used to.
Well, yeah, it's a supply and demand. My theory, because I'm surprised that they're actually still getting paid that much for just like standard a standard scene, because that doesn't sound like any freaky stuff. I mean, because one of the reasons why porn has gotten so extreme is basically because it's become so ubiquitous that to get anyone to watch it, you got to do more and more crazy stuff. They're always upping the ante. So if you can see all this free stuff on a tube site, it's like, why is someone going to pay? Like, I mean, this, what you were working for, that's kind of a niche thing because you got to see the behind the scenes aspect of it live.
Yeah.
So that's probably.
Yeah, it's like the guys can feel like they kind of know the porn star a little bit and they know the process and they feel like, I'm watching a making of documentary. That's a little bit cooler than just paying to jerk off when I could be jerking off for free. But a lot of the people who are smarter and are thinking more about the health of the industry are just putting their free shit up as teasers, like that are only really going to work for people who can jerk off in 10 seconds.
Okay.
If you like the teaser, you have to click someplace else. So that's kind of the workaround they're doing. I wish the books industry could get away with that, but most people just read the sample of a book, and since it's not appealing to one of their fundamental, eat, fuck, run away from things needs, they'll read the sample and be like, oh wow, that was enjoyable, and then forget about it.
Well, I've been guilty of, like, on Amazon doing that, reading the samples of the books, and and if it is good, I will buy it because I want to see what happens next. That's why you should never give too much away in your first chapter.
Yeah, or your
like nowadays more than ever if you're looking to make money on it. But I mean, big name authors don't have to give a shit about this stuff because people just will buy their books just as a matter of course. Like the Stephen King types.
Yeah, true, but they have to look out for being canceled because all the people who are envious of them cannot wait to find that one, snapshot of them back in 4th grade in 1982 wearing the Native American costume.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I think they got Neil Gaiman. I'm waiting for them to get Stephen King. I mean, not joyously. I'm just kind of waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Well, he's been around so much, so he's written because he writes under different pseudonyms as well.
Yeah, and I guess he's got enough. I was going to say normal people, but what I actually mean is old people as fans. That normal people, old people. I guess that's the same thing to me now. But he's got enough fans that don't give a shit about cancel culture that he's probably safe. But he might find people burning crosses on his doorstep at some point. Who knows?
Yeah. Also, he's got fuck you money, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they won't go after like people like that because there's no return on, like, they're not a threat, And
right.
And plus, I think his politics are left wing, so.
That doesn't save people anymore.
No, they're just.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The arts are so oversupplied and so underpaid, even like at the upper middle echelons. Like, you can be pretty successful when people be like, wow, I wish I were that guy. But he lives in a penthouse and he's like half starving to death in a studio somewhere.
John Titor, however you pronounce it, he says he only needs 10 seconds, but
Well, I guess he doesn't have to pay for porn then. He just clicks on the samples and goes, "Done, suckers!"
Yeah, he just finished twice, in the last minute.
He just finished twice while I was talking about watching porn through, like, wow, that's really meta. Like, if you can jerk off while I'm talking about watching porn through 4 different screens in a completely like technical, not fun way, I salute you. That's some. Your imagination is good enough that you really don't need porn. You could just like do it the old-fashioned way and watch like people walking down the street and then just imagine them naked later.
Yeah. So, John, props to you, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people watch these. What do you call them? The gaming girls. I don't know, the girls who play video games. Like, they'll wear like a bikini, or not even a bikini. They'll just wear something that's revealing, like some girl with like big tits. But I mean, it's totally covered because these channels. I don't know which channel does the gaming streams. And
that is a brilliant idea for porn. Oh my god, X-rated gaming streams. I mean, if people are already watching, like, oh, my two favorite things, tits and a video game, if you could actually have naked people playing video games while they were fucking, I think we just invented a new niche for porn that could actually make like money for 10 minutes before the internet just ate it alive, like it's eaten everything else.
And we've given that away. You should have saved that because it was.
This is a live stream.
Yeah, it's a live stream.
All right.
So
it's a live stream. Okay, I'm gonna sue anybody who does this.
It's Anne's idea. When we got it on tape.
Right?
Yeah, I get. I'm just. But you'd have to find a hosting service that would allow it. Otherwise, you'd have to set up your own domain and server.
We were live streaming. There are servers that you can live stream your own porn through. It's up to you to make the money. Like,
but I mean,
you have your website.
Don't you have to? I mean, it's not like this is free. Like YouTube is free, so we're not paying for it. But like the big,
there are specific porn like streaming services where you can. Like what we did today was there was like 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning that was free that's showing like this is the girl, this is what she looks like, this is what we're going to be doing. We're like chatting and getting to know everyone's personality, and they get to hear the crew bullshitting and making silly jokes about semen and then then the paper starts, and it's really up to you and to whoever's running the computers. That's my job to like entice people into coming onto the stream and paying for however like I'm sitting there typing, hey, they're doing doggy now, this is awesome, like she's really enjoying this. So it's kind of up to your channel to make money on the streaming service, but you can stream as long as the free stuff doesn't show penises. You can stream anything you want. So you could get on. I'm like, now I'm fleshing out this idea for whoever's going to do it.
She's going to get promoted. She's going to come into work the next day and say, I got this brilliant idea.
Oh, geez. Or maybe we should do it.
Actually, you know what we need to do, Anne? We got to create a porn name for you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we need to get a lawyer. But, yeah.
That too. But we have to have, or not necessarily for you, but like for your porn production company. You have to come up with a name, like Sturzinger's Perversions or something like that.
How about what's a popular game name now? Like I was going to say Tits in World of Warcraft, but that's probably out of date. I'd watch Tits and Civ, but
Tits and Civ or
like just a naked girl playing Civ with somebody eating her out.
Yeah, and you could make it like, can she get to level? I'm not familiar with the game actually, but can she get to the next level? Because we could be like split screen like we are now, right? Where the game, and then she's being eaten out, and the game is, and she's got like in the heat of the moment, she's got to decide like whether she's going to orgasm or make it to the next level or not, or like at what point does she drop the controller and just like It's like
that's why it'd have to be Civ, because if she's in like a first person shooter game and she starts having an orgasm, she's just gonna like crash and burn, and all the hardcore game heads are gonna be like, loser.
Well, it would be even better, Anne, if it was it would be a multiplayer game. So it's a room full of girls being eaten out. Don't steal this idea, whoever you fuck are listening.
Yeah, we'll kill you. We'll kill you. We'll kill you, and we have a lawyer. We're gonna hire one as soon as we hang up.
Yeah.
Wait, I may already have a lawyer, but anyway, go on.
So we got a room full of girls being eaten out, playing it, and we could have it like a bonus thing, right? Where the girls could get paid two ways. So this is good too, because we wouldn't even have to put up front the money. We would just say you get a percentage of the like the super chats or whatever they're going to be called, right? And if you win the game, you get a bonus. So so the girls are competing against each other, and this is brilliant shit, man. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. The Beckloff. How about no script for a name? Is that taken? Brilliant, Chris.
Yeah, because I've already proven I'm a marketing genius with that one.
Yeah.
That's the name of my second novel, which no one can pronounce. That is just a marketing move of brilliance.
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh man. Yeah, because no one knows what the fuck it means, because you're the only person that speaks Latin in that whole fucking state. And that has anything to do with porn industry, okay? Let's be honest. You're not going to get into some highbrow conversations talking about the Odyssey and the Iliad written in ancient Greek, and how, Ulysses is the Latinized version of Odysseus. Yeah. Can you imagine like that kind of conversation on a porn set and shit? They're like, "Ed, shut up. We're losing viewers. The numbers are going down. You're killing boners all over the world."
Oh God, please stop talking about biblical Greek right now.
Yeah. Okay. They're just you're just killing boners. He's like, and Anne's been like, "No, man, but Achilles was hot."
This isn't gay porn, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, what's her name? The one that launched 1,000 ships.
Helen.
Helen. Yeah, Helen of Troy. Yeah, she was married to the king of Sparta, whose name is escaping me.
Shit.
We're losing viewers. We're losing.
Yeah, starts with an M. Menelaus.
Menelaus. Yes.
Menelaus. Yeah. Well, that went from a great idea to just babbling about things.
Well, I like shit like that. I like stuff. I like the classics. I'm not to the level you do. I never fucking learned fucking Greek or Latin, but I read it in English.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that was a complete waste of my time, but I guess that actually has gotten me a couple of jobs. But maybe should have learned a computer language instead.
Yeah, learn to code.
Learn to code, bitch.
Yeah.
The problem with learning to code is they come up with a new computer language every other week. I mean, people who have been learning to code since they were 10 years old are confused by this shit. Like, where do you even start?
Perl probably, or Python rather. Python.
Yeah.
Python.
Yeah. I learned BASIC in the 80s, but because I mean, anybody in the 80s at a certain point could get access to a Commodore 64 almost.
Yeah, I had an Atari 400 or something.
Yeah, like only the rich kids' parents bought them PCs, so those fuckers got a head start on the more advanced languages. But almost anybody could get their hands on a Commodore 64, at least at school.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I bet you don't know what BASIC stands for.
No, I do not.
Basic All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code.
So it basically means basic.
Yes, it basically means basic.
So they talk about meta, man. I'm watching like basic bitch porn with my basic bitch cereal with a noose in it.
Yeah, and we can program this server in BASIC with the girls playing the game naked, being eaten out. And I'm thinking this is being eaten out is too much money, because you'd have to have all the different people do it, and there's too many people. What we could do is, how much does a vibrator cost? $10.
Well, it depends on whether you want a good one.
Well, we want to be going top notch here. We don't want one that's the motor's going to wear out on, because this is going to be getting used regularly. So
okay, well, for a porn starlet who's used to like being banged like a jackhammer 5 times a week, you're going to need like your $70 to $100 vibrators at least.
Holy shit! Wow, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those things are they're not as advanced as sex dolls, but they've been getting pretty advanced. I mean, people are coming up with ways to replace each other in all kinds of fields. Your labor's worth nothing. Your pussy's worth nothing. Your dick's worth nothing. I mean, that's why. Not to get political, but I just keep wondering why they keep cutting off Andrew Yang's microphone in all the debates, because he's the one guy who's going, in 20 years, nobody's going to want to pay anyone for anything. What do we do about that? And they're like, his mic cuts off. That's what makes me start thinking we're going to be, what is John Titor saying? Porn site that can stream on a Commodore 64. That's the $1 million idea.
You're going to get a cut, John. We're going to let you in on the ground floor. This is brilliant.
Oh,
Whenever I
yeah.
get together, we spitball some good ideas here, man. We just got to get off our asses and put it into business. So instead of having them being like literally eaten out by another guy or girl, what we'll do is we'll have to hook up. Oh, you know what would be even cooler if the vibrating machine is somehow networked into the game. So depending on what they do in the game, like it gets turned up or how are those?
That's genius. That's
Yeah.
genius.
And then dude, this is brilliant, man.
If you're playing Rome and you conquer Greece, then you get anal beads.
Yeah, you could have one for the butts and one for oh man, there's so many different ideas we could do with this, man. This is, I mean, too bad I don't know how to code in anything other than Commodore 64 Basic, but we can always hire John Titer to do the Commodore programming, and who knows? We could be in action. You could steal some people from the set you're working on now, saying, "Hey, I got some great ideas. I like your camera work," and just.
Do you like playing video games by any chance?
Yeah. And how hard is it to find guys who like video games? Trust me, that would be epic. And then like we could have it like Jeopardy, like the Tournament of Champions, like what? You know what I'm talking about? Like you have all the best, like all the girls that have done the best, and I could but it'd be so great though, because we could do like, like if you ever watch like MMA or boxing, there's like pre-fight interviews.
Yeah.
And how have you been preparing for this? And they're like, yeah, and they're talking about all the different things they've been doing. Like I played 16 hours last night of the game, so I'm really good shape. I haven't gotten laid in a week, so I'm all pent up for this, and then and we could have the weigh in, and reporters asking questions. You think you're ready for the title? We got to come up with a name, like what the title would be called. Like,
the provisional title can be Tits and Civ, but man, yeah, this is a brand new niche market.
Yeah, if all we got to do is come up with someone to give us some seed money, and we can hire programmers, which are probably a dime a dozen now, because we could just get some college kid. And but the vibrators we're gonna have to come up with, because we're gonna, and I'm gonna have to learn how to play these games, because I don't play any of these type of games. I play grand strategy games, but you can't have a porn grand strategy game because.
Wait, are you a girl?
No, what are you talking about?
Why do you need to know how to play? Oh, to judge who's doing the best?
Well, yeah, to pick the game and to know, like, are they breaking the rules or something? I mean, I don't know if I mean.
I don't think computer games let you break the rules. Like they're a cheat code.
They're cheats. Yeah, we'd have to have no one to make sure that they're not using a cheat or something like that. Because what's going to happen, and I know this will happen, is the fanboys of some of these girls will be messaging them the cheats.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, we can charge people to message their favorite girls cheat codes.
Yes, like pointers. You're like, he's up on the left. He always, once you go into this room, the sniper is always up on the left. Take him out first. So, I'm telling you, man, there's money to be made in this, and it would we need someone who is, quick with the keyboard shortcuts. Maybe we could hire Rini. He's big on the keyboard shortcuts, and he could, go from screen to screen. Who's so-and-so's having trouble. Candy looks like she's bogged down on level 2. She's behind the car, and she's low on ammo, but so-and-so is
turn the vibrator down to fucking George Bush or something.
Yeah, oh man, there's a lot we could do. And the interaction with the fans, people would pay bucks for that. I mean, if guys are spending huge amounts of money just to watch a girl fully clothed by herself play a video game, this shit they would, and talk about a crossover. I mean, you're gonna get both.
Yeah, this is gonna be a crossover hit. Like all the guys who are sitting there paying money to watch this shit, who are thinking, well, I'm paying money, but she's still wearing clothes. There's got to be something better than this, and that's where we come in with our marketing team. There is something better. It's called Tits and Civ.
Fits and sit, and we could have like the PG-13 ad on the. We could pay like the gamer girls. You know, we could have. Oh, this is it. I got it.
Somebody call Sid Meier. Go ahead.
We approach the gamer girls, the popular ones, and say, "Look, I know you never done porn before, but if you want to make some real money, this is what you do."
You know, though, we really need to write the contract carefully, because if we create a PewDiePie of naked gaming, we want to get our cut, right?
Yeah.
If we create a PewDiePie, we want some of those billions or however much money that little twerp has.
We'll have to write it so that we control the revenue when they get paid a certain thing. But you're gonna have to have incentives for the girls to really bring their A game. It's like the better they perform, it's not just gonna be how, you know, and we're gonna have to see how X-rated we want it. Like, would it be like after they finish, say, level 12, before they can get to level 13, they have to give a blowjob and then come back? Or things like that, you know.
My God, yeah.
You know, so they have to suck the guy off within this time period to get back and then do the game again.
If you don't suck the guy off, this is why turn-based games like Civ are going to be great for this, because like all the other and that would put pressure on all the players to make their moves faster, because like before her next turn in the game comes around, the girl either has to have a genuine orgasm, and we'll put sensors in the vibrator so you can tell, or she has to suck off one of our male porn stars to completion, which will be easier to tell. Otherwise, we let the computer take her next turn.
Okay. Oh, great. You're with me here. We're working it. We're working it. Yeah. This is beautiful. Yeah. This is beautiful. You know, by the way, we're going to actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually start another channel, just business ideas. And it'll be a subscription-based channel where we just come, and you'll be allowed to take the ideas, because but you'll have to pay a subscription to log into the channel, and we'll just spitball different ideas. This is a great one. And this was just, you know, I didn't think about this ahead of time. It just came. See, you put two, like, you know, weird people like Ann and I together, and this is what happens. You know, it's just, you know, I mean, I believe in the universe that if Ann didn't know me, that noose would have never found it into her cereal box. I believe that if
get a noose in my cereal box,
it was it's like,
you know, maybe there was like, what's that?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe there was like, you know, I forget who says this all the time, but there are only like 4 actual Nazis in the world. But maybe one of them was working at that Trader Joe's. And there's this black lady who buys that cereal every week, and he knows what time she comes in, and he knows what cereal she's going to buy.
Yeah, and
he's just like standing there
and grab the box, and he's like, fuck. But he couldn't like come up to you and say, excuse me, can you put that box back? It has a fucking noose in it that was meant for a black lady. So that was
he's like, fuck. This bitch is gonna trade that for the pumpkin spice O's, isn't she? God damn it.
Well, actually, you know what probably really happened? This is the honest truth. Probably what really happened, the way that news got in there, was Juicy Smollett actually he was supposed to be, you know, he lives in LA and he goes to that Trader Joe's. He was supposed to get that box. And, you know, and then he was supposed
to be part of his legal defense in Chicago.
Yeah, he's like, look, it's everywhere, you know? And I mean, no, if you could believe someone put a noose inside a cereal box, you could buy the 3 MAGA guys in the middle of Chicago at 3 a.m. in negative 20 degrees. Sure. Juicy Smollett goes to that Trader Joe's, and that's what it was. He hired the Nigerians to put that box there, but the guy didn't understand the English too well, so he put it on the wrong shelf. It was 3 from the left, but on the top shelf, not the middle shelf.
Or it was the wrong day.
Yeah, the wrong cereal, right? So that's what happened. That's how the news got there, because that's what Jesse Smollett.
Juicy is like standing in front of the security camera so that he makes sure that they get a picture of him opening his box of cereal. You know, because now he has to inspect all of his food for nooses.
Right.
And he's opening it up, and he's like, "Those fuckers screwed me over again. I just can't trust these guys." It's like they're like a comedy trio.
Yeah.
I told you I was binge watching Better Call Saul today, and like Juicy and his voice really remind me of that show.
Juicy reminds you of Better Call Saul. Actually, what season is it on now? I used to watch it when Breaking Bad ended.
I forget. I just started watching it. I actually just like I've been kind of in a depression fugue this week because my actual rapist was supposed to get arraigned this week, and I keep not hearing from the cops. So I'm just like binge watching everything that everyone told me I should watch, incling Breaking Bad.
But I just got to tell everybody though, he is locked up. He's not out on bail. It's just that they have him on enough. But as far as the formality of the arraignment has that, so no, he is behind bars. But anyway, just so people know that
if you're in Chicago, don't worry. It's just all the other thousands of criminals you have to worry about.
Yeah, but this particular
particular guy who keeps breaking into people's houses and for some reason was still on the street for years, he's locked up for the moment.
But you were saying you were in a depression haze, so you were binge watching, or
yeah, I was binge watching all of Breaking Bad, and I was like, holy shit, this guy Vince, what's his name? He's brilliant. So then I had to watch all of So then I had to watch. I just started watching all of Better Call Saul, and like it's just giving me all these like. After the whole noose in my cereal incident, I can't watch Let's Call Saul with all his like cooking up schemes for his clients without thinking about Juicy's lawyers. Because some of the shit that they've come up with to try and like do an end run around the Chicago Police Department has been just absolutely hilarious.
He was back in the news again because there was this really weird political thing where he knew like Hillary's lawyer or Michelle Obama's lawyer or something, and they made a phone call, and the district attorney like dropped it, or the commit. I forget how it was, and then there was like a big backlash, and then they reopened it, and now I don't know where now it's in limbo again.
Yeah, well, the DA in Chicago is notoriously bad at putting actual criminals behind bars, which is probably why I got assaulted by someone who should have been behind bars already.
But we should say like we were laughing and we're joking. That's what the show is, to be fun. But the time that Juicy Smollett, well, actually it's Jesse Smollett is his real name, but we call him Juicy Smollett.
Yeah. Props to Dave Chappelle for coming up with that.
Yeah, props to Dave Chappelle. But what happened was this thing was going on at the time is before they captured Ann's rapist, right? So he's out there.
Me being raped and giving DNA evidence, and them actually like getting the DNA through the lab. So my DNA sample from my actual violent crime is crawling through the Illinois justice system at the speed of like a French turtle in molasses in Alaska in January. Meanwhile, like I don't even want to know how much money they spent on this dude.
No, well, that was the thing. I remember mailing you, DMing you the article where they talked about they had 5 detectives assigned to his case, and I forget how many hundreds of man hours it was. And let's be honest, it's not like Chicago can spare up, detectives. I mean, the backlog is like unbelievable. Yet they assign like a whole fucking task force, meaning that they had to pull these detectives from other open cases, which was Ann's at the time. Now it's, he's in custody, thank God, and hopefully he'll spend. He's looking at least like 20 years because his priors and everything. But so that was really. That really pissed Ann off. Let's just say.
Oh yeah, that pissed me off almost as much as what's her name, the girl who pretended that Brock Turner raped her.
What was that back? I know that name.
It's like a real common name, so it's hard to remember.
But what was the back? What did she? What was the setup? Like how were they?
The setup was she and he were drunk and kissing at a party, and then they both kind of blacked out and fell down behind a dumpster and were dry humping each other. And these 2 nosy Swedish dudes found them. And, Swedes think everything is rape. So she didn't remember a single thing that happened. But she got to the hospital and they told her that she'd been raped. And she was like, oh, okay, I better say I was raped because I have a boyfriend. So, yeah, I was raped. So this case goes to trial. And the big outrage was it wasn't that, like, someone who had like she's just to anyone who's not insane, she's just obvious, not exactly lying, just letting people lie for her. Anyway,
well, no, what happened? Now I remember the case, and it was a big outrage because the judge gave him a light sentence. But for what he actually did, it made it sound like the way the news headline was, rapist gets, 30 days or something. But it wasn't like that. It was two people so drunk out of their mind. Apparently, he was completely out of his mind too.
Oh yeah, like he barely remembered what happened. Like he granted she was too drunk to give consent, but he was too drunk to realize she was too drunk to give consent.
Right.
Like, well, like my first impulse, if I saw two drunk college kids like humping each other behind a dumpster, wouldn't be, oh, one of them is raping the other one. I'd be like, oh, they're gonna wind up with a terrible headache in the morning and wonder what the fuck they did.
Well, my first instinct would have been to pull out my smartphone and record it for our new venture, but that's
but how are you gonna merge that with Civ?
I'd figure it out, Ann, somehow.
Are we gonna get sued by Sid Meier? Speaking of lawyers.
Oh, I don't know. We'll form an LLC and protect ourselves. We'll have to. But
I just wish they would stop saying my name.
But yeah, so
I was really by Juicy.
We'll hire Saul. He's the best. He's the best defense attorney there is.
well, clearly he's working on Juicy's case.
Yeah, he's working. Well, I was wondering I don't know if you've gotten to the episode yet, so I don't want to ruin it. I don't remember what season it was in, but the one with the cakes, where the guy the guy sat on cakes. It was his fetish. All right, it's a brilliant defense that he came up with for this guy, and it's really funny. I think it was in the first season, but I don't know which episode it is. And that's all I'll tell you. I'm
only on episode 3. I'm only on episode 3. But yeah.
So next week you'll know about it.
Emma Smith. It's something like Emma Smith. Emma, whatever. I don't care about that. Yeah, I still have epilepsy from the PTSD.
PTSD, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of mental fog sometimes when Ann and I talk. But we tend to be able to see pictures of who we're talking about, but we never can remember the names. It's just, these super famous people, and we don't know who they are, It's really embarrassing when it happens when I'm talking to my mother and I can't remember mom, but that's kind of embarrassing.
What was even more embarrassing was when I forgot the word aphasia.
Well, I mean, a lot of people want to know what that word means. So,
well, it's the word for the condition we suffer from when you can't remember a word. Like, fuck, what was that word for? Oh, this is meta.
Aphasia. Not being able to remember the thing that you're. Yeah. It's like having cancer, not knowing that anyway. No, it's not. Well, actually, what's that word when you if you hear a sound, you see colors? Is that called like synesthesia?
Oh, something like
synesthesia, something like that.
Synesthesia sounds right.
I get those mixed up in my head sometimes. Not that those words come up in conversation too often, but I know that that's a weird thing that some people actually have.
Yeah.
But actually, that probably our porn site will probably induce that in people. But that's a business. But we're gonna end the show soon because we're going a little more than an hour. But what was I gonna say? On our next episode, one of the things we're gonna cover is proper threesome etiquette. So you're all gonna want to tune in for that. And what was the other thing we were gonna cover? We finally got to talk about Ann's news, thank God, after 3 weeks. So that's
we were gonna talk about the Joker, but we both saw it once and didn't quite know what to make of it because, like, in the first 15 seconds, they mentioned like if this city gets any dirtier, there'll be a typhoid fever, and I was like,
yeah, I just got over typhus.
I was like, I just got over typhus, and who in Hollywood is following me around?
Well, we could do a thing.
Paranoid thought. Do I still have typhus?
Well, I'm not like a huge movie watcher anymore. Like, I used to be a real cinephile. Like, I used to watch, but I like within the last 10 years, I don't really watch movies very often because, well, they all suck. And also, I'm not a big. It seems like most movies are superhero movies and sequels of movies, or sequels of or superhero sequels of themselves, or what. And I'm not a big superhero guy, and it seems to be that that's so many of the films that come out, or it's movies that have this political message where I want to say, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, like don't mix politics and art, you assholes. I have a whole spiel about that, but I might I don't know.
You might save that, but no, I was thinking about the idea, and I was scrapped it, but maybe like we could do like review of some like art house films we like that are maybe older. Like we could take an older film that we watched, a decade ago or whatever, or more, some classic film like, Casablanca or something. I don't know if Anne's ever watched that. That's one of my favorite films. And we could critique that in our funny, quirky way. And, that could be part of an episode. So, quirky. But, we could couch that in between our business idea and the threesome etiquette. So, just to mix it up,
Why do you want to talk to me about etiquette? That doesn't seem to make any sense.
Well, that's my point. You're kind of like the antithesis of proper etiquette. So it would be, it would kind of be like you'd be breaking all the normal rules of a threesome, because people don't know this. There actually are rules. Like, and also, we could talk about the female male and the male female threesomes, because there's
actually the best / worst way I can think of to ruin a threesome with poor etiquette would just be to ignore one of the two people.
Oh yeah, that's bad, and that's why for guys, if it's two girls and a guy, it's tough on the guy, because guys are not multitaskers, especially when it comes to sex. So just in general, guys, it's that evolutionary thing where and women, because they had to this is true, because they had children, they had to be able to do 15 things at once.
Cooking and children versus stalking an animal. It's
yes. So that's why women are better at multitasking than men. They've actually done studies, and men are better at women of just doing one thing. But when it comes to multitasking, guys just freak out.
So I don't have ADHD. I just have a vagina.
You just have a vagina.
Yeah.
And or so you claim. But no, she does. Tune in. All right. So anyway, tune in next week to learn more about we'll definitively answer the question, does Anne actually have a vagina, threesome etiquette, and more of our business idea.
We're gonna have to charge to provide proof that I have a vagina.
Well, they can be. Well, maybe we'll have super chats.
There'll be a link.
Yeah, we'll have a link, and we can prove that it's a vagina. Anyway, kids.
Oh my God! It would be really hilarious. It might get us killed.
Okay.
Like have a pay per link, and it just links to a photo of my cat.
Oh, Anne's pussy. Yes. Oh, but I guarantee Anne's pussy will be on the next episode. Okay, that's all. I'm not giving any more details than that. Anne's pussy's on the next episode.